All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're diving into a pretty unique and, frankly, urgent spiritual message. It comes from a source known as Life Cheney One, and it's essentially a prophecy, one that warns of a massive, monumental change on the horizon for all of us. So let's start with the big idea. Just imagine for a second, what if some kind of invisible, powerful wave was hurtling toward Earth from the cosmos, about to change, well, everything as we know it? According to the text we're breaking down today, this isn't some hypothetical question. It's presented as a very real, high-stakes situation. And this source, it doesn't pull any punches. It states, very directly, that human civilization has hit a critical tipping point. All the small, accumulated changes are about to trigger one huge, sudden transformation. We're not talking about slow, gradual evolution here. This is about an imminent, fundamental leap. Now, to really understand the urgency behind this prophecy, we've got to look at the foundation it's built on. See, the source doesn't just make a wild prediction. It claims to offer a complete explanation for some of life's deepest, most profound mysteries. I mean, the sheer scope of these claims is staggering. The text says it has figured out the origin of the entire universe, a framework of 36 different dimensions, the real secrets behind the pyramids and the Bermuda Triangle, and, just for good measure, the answer to that ultimate question, who am I? It's a lot. So, why lay out this huge cosmic framework? Well, it all serves a very specific purpose: to set the stage for an extremely urgent warning. It's a call to attention, basically arguing that a true existential threat is now on our doorstep. The text uses this really powerful metaphor to explain the danger. It isn't a visible enemy you can see coming. It's like the iceberg that sank the Titanic. It was unseen, silent, and moving closer and closer. The warning is that by the time we finally see it, it's already going to be too late. And from this perspective, you can look at history as being full of these instantaneous, catastrophic shifts. The dinosaurs, just gone. The Mayan civilization suddenly collapsed. These ancient cultures just vanished. The source argues that these things happen and, well, we're simply next in line. So you might be asking, just how unprepared is humanity for this thing? The text puts a very stark number on it: 98%. So what does that number even mean? It represents the 98% of humanity that the source describes as being spiritually asleep, or just plain dead. This means having eyes that don't truly see and ears that don't truly hear, and being completely, totally unprepared for the shift that's coming. This all leads to the big question: why? Right? How do we get here, to this point of spiritual crisis? Well, the source gives a really detailed diagnosis of modern society and where it thinks we went wrong. To explain this, people are sorted into 5 spiritual types. It's a whole spectrum. It ranges from the muddled person who is completely lost all the way up to the celestial person who's achieved a very high state of being. The idea is for you to kind of reflect and see where you or others might fall on this scale. And this critique, it spares no one. To world leaders, the message is, you've forgotten the divine source of your authority. To scientists, you're like kids picking up seashells on the beach, totally unaware of the giant ocean of wisdom right in front of you. To religious followers, your faith is blind. Your actions don't line up with your words. And to the wealthy, the comparison is to a blindfolded donkey in a mill, always walking, always working, but going absolutely nowhere. But okay, after that pretty sharp diagnosis, the text doesn't just leave everyone on a crisis. It actually lays out a very specific and structured path forward, a potential solution for anyone who wants to prepare for this coming wave. At the very heart of this solution are what the source calls the 8 standards of perfect humanity. You can think of these as a clear, achievable set of principles designed to guide a person's spiritual development and help elevate their consciousness. And this path is highly detailed. For beginners, there are 51 primary rules and 23 methods of practice. As you get more advanced, you move on to intermediate rules and 8 heart methods for mastering the mind. It's really a full curriculum, with everything from daily readings to specific meditation techniques. So after laying out the prophecy, the diagnosis, and this whole prescribed path, the text brings it all back to one final, absolutely essential point: the responsibility for what happens next. It rests entirely with you, the individual. This idea of cause and effect is central to the whole thing. What you put out into the world, you are basically creating for yourself. This radical idea that we're all interconnected is presented as a fundamental law of the universe. And this brings everything to one final question. With all this information laid out, the path forward is a personal decision. It's not a command, it's a choice about your own destiny. The text ends not with another threat, but with this really poetic and hopeful invitation. It's a promise from the author to greet those who actually prepare for the great change on what they call the Rainbow Bridge. And just so it's perfectly clear, the concepts and all the quotes in this explainer were drawn directly from the writings of Zhuo Feng of the organization Life Qianyuan. Thanks for joining us for this one.